And I'm a knight. I'm not scared of anything. I'm the strong one. I'm the smart one. I'm the one who's always in charge. It's my job to protect them, and I am never going to fail in that duty, so you might as well give up now. Or maybe you kill me. Maybe this is it, and I finally get some fucking rest. Because I left my story behind. Because I keep ignoring the singing in my head. Because maybe Morgan's right. Maybe we are possessed or infested or infected with whatever it is that brought you into this world. But if that's true, then I'm taking you down with me. Do you trust me? Guy, do you trust me?
Yes.
Then trust me to protect you now.
Greetings! Welcome to the stream. Happy Wednesday. I hope everyone's having a good one. It is... Let's jump over. Hello. Welcome. You join me in a very... Well, it's not very cold. It's a cold flat. Because our boiler decided to not... Well, it sort of was making some funny noises earlier on in the day and stopped working. And then it sort of fixed itself, and then it broke again. But the second time it broke, the problem was that the second time it broke, our letting agent was closed. So it means we can't get it seen to. And then we rang the sort of out of hours officer office, and basically the guy said, well, look, like, unfortunately we can't send anyone out until tomorrow, which is like, what's the point of having an out of office line? Anyway. So that's been my afternoon. So you may have noticed I'm wearing fingerless gloves to keep my hands warm. Poppy is not joining us. Poppy is in a slightly warmer room, but we're doing okay. We're doing all right. Like it's I'm more frustrated than I am. More frustrated than I am like cold, if that makes sense. The frustration and the anger is keeping me warm. But anyway, but we're going to make some music today, and I'm excited to do that. I'm excited to make some music for... It's been a while since I've got to make some music, so I'm excited to do that. I was kind of playing around with the synths earlier on, and yeah, it was I was like, I'm excited to do this. I was thinking, so there was a band called Air in the early 2000s. They did sort of like that kind of delightful ambient, sort of very French electronic music that came out of Europe around about then. Like the same wave. They came around in the same wave that Daft Punk came about. And for one of their songs, I can't remember the name of the song, But the whole thing was when they were recording it, they opened up all the windows in the studio because they wanted everyone to play slowly. So they knew that if their fingers were if they were cold, they'd play slower. So maybe that's something we can lean into today. But yeah, that's going to be the plan today. The plan is to make some music. Brother of Anubis, hello. Sassy Catastrophe, hello. Good to see you both. So during the stream break, I completely binged all of the Hello Earth pods. Oh my goodness! Oh, thank you so much. Good. I hope they were useful. I hope they were interesting. Thank you. I'd like I don't know how many people end up watching these afterwards, but yeah, thank you if you have messaged me or gotten Hello Earth off someone else if you've actively gone looking for Hello Earth, thank you. Like I'm still getting the odd message and bits and pieces about it, and it's nice that it's kind of slowly developing this small little audience, and that's kind of fun. River Second Wife, hello. I'm here. I'm just in and out. Not feeling so great lately. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I'm hopefully we will serenade you tonight with some delightful music. Very good to see your face. Thank you. That's very kind. Thank you. Yeah. So, housekeeping thing before we get into things. So, I threatened Latte Eat. Hello, welcome. I haven't been here in a while, and I'm glad to be back. Good. It's good to have you back. So, I've kind of said the last few streams that I'd try and get sound alerts set up. And well, I've done that. So there are now 4 sound emotes, sound alerts that chat you have the power to use. Please don't make me regret this. There are 2 that you can buy with channel points, and there are 2 that cost money. I think the reasons for these will become very clear. So the 2 that you can buy with channel points, the first one is this one. That's time to Sonic. Thank you very much. Amazing. Thank you, Brother Anubis. You're already there. So with this, the Time to Sonic now has an official sound effect. That's the other one you can get with channel points. Nimsy, hello, welcome. Hello Earth gave me the writing bug. I turned out a trio of short scripts, so big thank you for pushing me towards that. I'm glad to hear that. Kind of went insane for the woods for a while. Saw some pretty rare animals. That is good to hear. That sounds amazing. The audio isn't playing at our end. Oh no. Okay, well there you go. I forgot to turn that on. So this is the Time to Sonic, which. There you go. You should have heard it that time. So Time to Sonic now has an official sound effect. And then we also have this one.
You pay for your mistakes, one way or another.
So, yes. I made 2 that I'm like, these are ones that are kind of from this particular month of making stuff, and then there are 2 that cost money. I'm going to play them for you now. So this one's called Car Safety or Else.
Never drive your car, never park your car and rest, and never get out of your car.
That is from the car vids, yes. I got a couple, took a couple of things from the car vids, which was quite fun. These are good. These are pretty dynamic, by the way. So if there's a particular sound that you would like on these alerts, please let me know. I will judge whether it should cost money or not, because there's the final one that costs money, and also you have to be a subscriber to use it. Because texture, yeah, okay, we can make one for texture. But this last one, it's sub only, so you have to be subscribed to the channel to use it, and it also costs bits. And I've set it so you only get 1 per stream, so use it well, chat. It's not big money. It's not big money. It's this. So you get one of those per stream. Oh, that one doesn't count because that was a test. So yeah, use it while. Don't make me regret putting these up. I'm still so miffed that I missed the clip at the very end. That was quite fun. There is something about, in particular, like so. I don't wish to, I try to be professional when I talk about. Can we get now? That's podcast. That's actually quite a good. That's a good one actually. And then texture as well. I'm gonna make a note of these. So, thing about Mysterious, hello, welcome in. I'm just going over the new channel sound alerts that are now redeemable that I figured out how to use. And I'm talking about the X-Files theme tune specifically. So there's something about the X-Files theme in particular that just lodges itself in my brain. Because here's the thing. So my partner and I have been watching through the X-Files. And without wishing to, cast shade on another professional, but Mark Snow is an okay composer. But for some reason, that one piece of work, that one piece of music, it's just lodges in the brain. It always makes it I'm not really fandom about many things, but for some reason, the X-Files theme tune in particular is one of them. Don't know why, can't explain it. So yeah, so those are our new channel regimes. But today we are going to be. It's got that brain rot, maybe a little bit. It's kind of at the stage where, the thing is, it's a good piece of music. This is the thing. It's a good piece of music. It's from X-Files. Yeah, it's the opening theme tune from X-Files. But it's the same thing with quite a lot of these sort of songs that have gone on to become kind of memes. It's just it's a good piece of music. It's a really good piece of music. He manages, and I'm fairly certain that tune was just him tripping on the keys and liking it. That's kind of what I've heard. And the more of his work that I hear, the more I'm kind of like, yeah, you got lucky with that one. Never watched that. Sorry, I only know the memes. That's also fun. That's allowed. That's great. The fact is, it's a piece of music that you know, and it's a really good piece of music as well. Yeah, I love it very much. It's a wonderful piece of work. But yeah. So today, making music. We're going to be making some music for the documentary that we've been working on for the past month. I did some editing after a stream on Monday. And it's now finished. So glad it's allowed. It's like, no, you're not allowed to listen to it. You're not allowed to enjoy it. No, you have to watch the X-Files. Otherwise, you don't understand the context. For a very long time, I knew the just again, I was in the same situation. I knew the theme song because I heard it because I grew up in the 90s. It was on everywhere in television, and it looked like, and it at the time it looked like the scariest thing in the world, and it still is very scary. But yeah, I only watched the X-Files last year for the first time last year. The first time I watched the X-Files, I was coming off anesthesia meds after getting my wisdom teeth extracted. I think that is kind of the best way to watch it, because I feel like it sort of takes away the slightly feral energy you get from watching the first few seasons. Just from the energy of Mulder and Scully. That's amazing. I love that. Okay, so I did a bit of work after stream, and it's now kind of finished. But I'm just going to kind of work on the music today. And specifically, the thing I want to do is I want to. There's a little bit in this piece of music, and it's from the freeway driving video. When Reaper decides it wants to work. So I kind of want to take this here. and see if I can maybe use that as a sample to kind of build a track around, because I think that's kind of fun. Because I was transcribing it. I was transcribing it before I came on stream, just to kind of be like, let's see if this works as an idea, and piano one. Let's keep it clean. And I think there's kind of a fun thing where you can go. That little measure, we can do a lot with it. That's as far as I've got with that. It's about aliens, right? Like a mashup of Supernatural and Doctor Who. Yeah, it's like it's more about sort of conspiracies. Like after maybe 6 seasons, it starts to lose its way because a certain day in September happens in 2001, and it meant that they couldn't really focus on the government conspiracy side of things. And it sort of went a bit weird for a while, but it never really recovered after that. But it's really good. Like if you get a chance to watch it, like it's still. You like, as long as someone is trying to solve a murder. And I realized that was true for Twin Peaks, which is possibly my favorite TV show of all time. That's true for Disco Elysium. And it's also true for the 2 Yakuza games that I've played so far. And I'm like, this is what I've been doing wrong. Amber, you would love MASH. Alan Alda is a gem. I do love Alan Alda. I really liked Alan Alda in The West Wing. Yeah, very, very good. Did you know NCIS was a spin-off show? Yeah, because it was introduced in like a different, in like a different show, kind of like in the same way that Boston Legal was. I don't see this. I know all this knowledge about shows I've never seen before. Very weird. I got to see Twin Peaks. Oh, you should. You should. Twin Peaks is. Oh, the first season is amazing. Everything after that kind of falls apart a little bit after that. But the first season is just mind-blowing, very well-made television. Twin Peaks and Fargo. I need to watch I love the film Fargo. I've not watched the TV show. Okay, let's get this cut. Tempo is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. Let's make that a comfortable. Actually, no. Let's stick to what it's telling us to do. Click track. I think it's trying to find. D 1, 2, 3. Da, 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 da. Doesn't help that there's just a lot of noise. Let me turn it down a bit so I can hear the click a bit better. Doesn't help that the quality of the tape is going. Okay, actually, hang on. Okay. I think we're moving. I'm going to drown this in reverb and stuff in a second when we kind of get moving. Oh! Da, 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 da. Dun, dun. Ba-dum, bum. Da, 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 da. There we go. Trying to get like a Ooh, I think we're in 3-4 rather than 4-4. Ooh, all right. Let's give that a go. Amber humming has made me think of Suzanne Vega totally blaming Holly. Ooh, I'm all excited for ADDQ next week. It's going to be fun. It's going to be nice. It's going to be nice to get back to it and try it again. Ooh, maybe that's our sample, our third bit. Yeah, there we go. That's a good start. It's gonna be chaos in the best way. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Like, so we're stress testing a Discord. Like we've made like an actual Discord for doing runs. So like basically means we can talk to each other, we can send each other files, and it means everything's all in one place. But I think we've had very good luck over the past 6 months, and I think at some point we're gonna do a run and the time's gonna be slower, and I'm curious to know when that's gonna happen. Because I think I'm editing again, so I'm curious to see if I can edit as quickly as Ollie edited last time. Because I think Ollie's a lot quicker than I am, but is a bit more rough around the edges. Whereas I think I'm a bit more of a perfectionist, which means it takes longer. And the problem is there's because there's so much stuff that I do that I've realized this comparing the two runs is that like there's lots of little things that I will do that take time that I will do without thinking, and I need to kind of get out of that kind of time that level of thinking if I want to do a good time. Okay, let's see what we can do with this. So I'm not going to run it through a tape effect for obvious reasons, because it sounds like it's been run through 400 years of tape. Might see if I can move that over slightly so it's slightly more on the beat. I'm very much hoping that this fits the. I'll be really upset if we do all this work and then it doesn't fit the actual documentary piece. Okay, let's start with. Well, first of all, let's get a D click on the go. I've been binging the history podcast too, so thank you again for a good podcast to settle in and listen to in the mornings. Thank you. Oh yeah, and the next episode would have come out yesterday, right? It's about the Order of the Garter. Can we? Ooh, I quite like it. It's kind of nice. I think. Let's give that a go. that's sounding kind of nice. That's sounding rather lovely. Because we could add in, because if we then what chords do we want after that? Do we want to, all right, okay, we can let's okay, we're cooking. Because I was thinking maybe doing something a bit more like driving and a bit more sort of dynamic, but I'm kind of like the idea of doing something a bit more gentle. Okay. Probably why I'm watching MASH. A lot OG, the jokes around Major Houlihan don't really land. They've aged horribly, but the core of it still seems good so far. That's kind of true for early X-Files as well. Yeah, like it kind of they actually handle a lot of stuff in quite good ways, and then but then also you've got to remember that like lie detector tests don't work, interrogation techniques don't work, like there's like body language is not a thing, like body language experts not a thing, serial killer profiling also not a, like kind of debunked science. If you go in with that mindset, you'll have a great time. I kind of want to, let's... Bean Rainbow 22, welcome. Dungeon economic bottle vibes in the house. Was it oh god, what's the whole soundtrack is based around that. Everything comes back around to Dungeon Economic Model. You know what? I keep hearing this. So we put the reverb after the... Okay. I think we might have something here. It's a Venn diagram between Dungeon Economic Model and the tower. I would be curious to see what's in the overlap. Camlin? Is Camlin in the middle? No, that can't be right. No. Let's move this to a warp piano. No, that's still in my brain. No. I think it might be Camlin is the thing. I'm trying to think what else it could be, but I don't think anything else quite fits. Where is Camlin on fundraising? So we put a post on some of a few of our socials about it. We've basically we have I think we've raised about 20 to 25 of the budget that we need already, which is great. So it means we can go to funding bodies and kind of say, look, this is how much we have already. We need the rest, basically, which is great. Like it's amazing. Like avoiding socials like that is very understandable. Don't you worry about it. Yeah. So we're about a fifth of the way there, which is more than we thought what we'd get. But also like we've got we have some more stuff releasing in the next couple of months that'll bring in some more cash, and then obviously as well any money that we raise from Twitch, and we also have Ko-fi, we also have Patreon. These are all ways, and then like we're still getting dribs and drabs through Bandcamp, which is delightful. So we are still slowly fundraising, even after we've done the kind of big push. So like I'm cautiously optimistic. We're cautiously optimistic is kind of how we're going into this year. We've got a few. We have a few organizations we're going to go to, and then there's a few other kind of plans that we've kind of got in place. There's one really like big reach that we can do, but we're going to see if we're going to go with the options that are like this seems likely before we kind of go for the big reaches. But like Cameron has a lot of awards. It has a lot of awards. It has a lot of listens. Like Sassy is saying, there's a lot of solid interest. There's so I think you know, touch wood, touch everything. You know, I'm optimistic. You know, I think we maybe lean into this. I think we make this quite a... Okay, not that, obviously. Maybe... touch everything for Cameron. Get that on a sticker. I recently bought stuff on Bandcamp. Next paycheck will likely include more. That's incredibly kind. Thank you. Okay. I think we're going to... We need a Friday reminder in the Discord. I'll buy a bit every Friday. Well, I will put up a little... I'll put up a post on Bandcamp for the next Bandcamp Friday. Hi, Just Bunky. Good to see you. Oh yes, I forgot to plug this. I'm still looking for. I'm looking for as many recordings as I can of listeners saying the word "tiny" for the little intro for these pieces. So I'm going to leave that open another week. We're going to be editing at 1 week from now. Next Wednesday, we're going to be putting that together. I'm gonna just leave it open. Like I'm happy for it to kind of be this thing that evolves and grows as this project kind of goes on. But if you want to kind of be there right at the beginning, that's the link in the chat just now. Ollie, hello. I did done some mid, man. You did. I've not listened to that many of them yet, so I'm kind of excited to kind of dive into them and see what's there. Okay, so this is a very old plugin that hopefully still works. Yes, it does. Okay. What do I want? Oh, I need string section. Pizzicato strings. Let's make this a little bit quieter. discs. Let's try. Let's get the Mellotron on the go. I submitted mine. Amazing. It is sounding kind of dreamy. I kind of like it. I'm sort of. I think I'm going for that sort of more sailing by, desert island discs, BBC Radio 4 kind of sound. I think. Cello. No, I don't want cellos. I want flute. Flute. So this is the problem. The problem we have is that this is going to be kind of backgroundy, right? So it's kind of we need it to be unintrusive. So we're going to need to figure out a way to stick this under, because it's going to be going under
older, then getting old.
Where's the music in? So it's going to go.
Like, do you know what? I'm not going to drive in Manchester.
So it comes in.
So
here.
I learned to drive when I was 17. Basically, on my 17th birthday, I opened the card from my parents, and so there's a red light coming up. It said, "Oh, your first driving lesson is at midday." So a year and a half later, I passed my test, and I got my license, got my full license.
So yeah, so we're going to bring it in here. It does also fit the old TV background vibes. Yeah, I kind of like that idea. Because I sort of rebalanced this a little bit in that, like, you hear more of the recording rather than the archival.
Cars crowding our highways today. Where does safety start?
Ah, here's the drivers. That's my department. Where are they coming from? Who are they? Everybody's there. Everybody's driving cars these days. The butcher, the baker, the canister, even you and me.
Great strides have been made in the improvement of roads, highways, and motor vehicles. However, the human factor, which causes accidents, is very little understood.
Automobiles are moving at high speeds. Often the traffic is very heavy. Thousands of cars use the freeways every day. Any vehicle can make a sudden, dangerous move at any time. Look out, there's a car going on.
Right, okay.
One of the things I've been trying to get better at doing.
Yeah, so I think if we can lean into the guys, what do the new rewards do? I'm scared to click them. They are sound alerts, would you believe? I've added sound alerts. 2 of them cost money, 2 of them don't. So you fire in.
You pay for your mistakes, one way or another.
Indeed, and that is indeed what is happening tonight. Thank you for the jelly bean break. I will play that while we figure this out. I might go for a longer. Actually, I know what we need. Oh, a save check. Thank you very much, brother of Anubis. If you're co-working tonight co-working with us tonight, now's a good time to make sure you've saved all your progress. Make sure you've not lost all that hard work you've been working on for the past 50 minutes. Oh no, I found a better one recently because, yeah. So, turns out the Kate Bush synth has really good bass sounds. That's not what I clicked on. I was supposed to double click it. I see. Let's. Yes. What's the name of this synth? So this is the Arturia CMI 5. It's a recreation of the famous CMI Fairlight synthesizer, which is one of the first sort of sample synths, beloved of Peter Gabriel and Kate Bush specifically. It was this very expensive piece of computer equipment, and it allowed you to do all sorts of weird and wonderful things with sounds. You know, you could record a sound and then turn it into a keyboard. It was the first keyboard first synthesizer that allowed you to do that. But yeah, I know, I'm aware. I do this every time we bring out this synth and I start talking about it, but I'm gonna do it again. Has a very famous cello 2, which goes so you already know what it sounds like. So you've heard the synthesizer before. My computer reset unexpectedly last night and I lost my internship application. Oh no! Oh god, okay. Please tell me you can get an extension or something, because that's terrible. Oh god, Babushka. Yeah, so Babushka, the sort of smashing glass sounds you hear at the end of Babushka, they were run through a Fairlight to kind of get that distinctive sound. Nothing's expensive compared to Isotope. The Arturia stuff is not too expensive. Like, I've got some really fun synthesizers through them. Yesterday I forgot to save while experimenting with a song thingy, and then one of my synths just wouldn't load and I couldn't save during loading. Luckily I hadn't done too much. Oh, good. Glad to hear that. Right, what was I doing? Oh yeah, bass. It took me way too long to realize it was Kate Bush. You need to sort of run it through. Hang on, let me run it through the other thing that really makes that track, which is the bisexual reverb, and then play it again. So, because this is also modelled off a very famous 80s, very 80s effect. This is going on my to buy list. There are a lot of to buys on the Arturia V5 collection. It's very, very good. I love it very much. I want to buy all of them, but it's very expensive. Let's get right. Baseline, bass. That's what we're doing. It helps if you remember the part you're doing. I can do better. tell I'm cold. Okay, much better. I think there's only one bum note there, but see if we can find it. It needs to be swing rather than... Okay. Epic the musical vibes. Oh, thank you. Ah, that's why that sounds so weird. It's because it's not quite on the line. There we go. Now we have to play the game of what do we put on top of that. Might have something. Got some delicious texture. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Can I run that through anything? Okay, I'm gonna turn the reverb off. And then I think if I turn this on, aha, there you go. Okay, I need to make that slightly bigger again so you can see it. There we go. Right, so you can see what I'm doing over here. You can also see the absolute mess that is my hair at the back. I need a haircut. I need a haircut real bad. Okay. Do that again because I realized I forgot to do something, because I need to also record the MIDI from that. So we get to go again. I need more time to... Yeah. Ugh. Sorry, I feel like I'm being real all over the place tonight. Of course, for some reason, it didn't record the MIDI. Oh, it doesn't matter. That's fine. I can just recreate it. That's fine. We're going to copy that, and then we're going to minus 12. Is that going to work for us? What do we need? We're going to add... Well, let's start with Old Faithful bisexual reverb. Oh, it's kind of nice already. Oh, it just makes it better. Just automatically, just straight away. Bisexual reverb won't fix all your problems, but it will make it more vibey. Right, let's see if we can recreate that with... let's get the Sega Mega Drive out and then see if we can get a nice kind of extra little vibe on the go. Ah, that'll be why I didn't record. I had the wrong device selected. Certainly got that wrong, but the great thing about MIDI is that you can edit the notes. Welcome to individual note editing with Amber Devereaux. It works. It works. I don't understand how it has such a like. What? How? So thank you. It's such a versatile sound. I don't know. It's very odd. 1 hour 8 minutes. Well, I think I've been doing pretty good with the TTS recently. Bisexual reverb is the moniker of sound tools. It really is. It really did change. Did make my music a lot better for it. Yes, it changes all of them. Fantastic. Good stuff. It's a kind of dreamy carnival carousel ride. Yeah, a little bit. Like, I'm not really sure what specific. If there's a specific vibe I'm going for right now. Let's add a string section. Why not? The first bit was great. The second bit was not good. So yeah, I'm just gonna quickly fix that. If I've got my music bits right. Oh. That's what we wanted. That's all I wanted. So I really love building string parts like this, just because I find them. It's a really lovely way to kind of build harmony and momentum. Really interesting way. So now we're going to add a viola. Solo combi. That's what we want. Let's make that a bit louder. It's just these really simple movements you can create a really interesting level of harmony just with 3 strings, just with 3-string parts. And then if you want to cheat things like a tiny little bit, if you kind of don't want to bother with you know, you're really happy with your violin, with your viola and your cello, you're like, I'm not really sure, you know, what else I want to add to it, or if I don't want to make it too busy. There's 3 clips of this stream already. What have I been doing? You can just take the cello part, stick it down here, bump that up by a couple of octaves, and then you get a delightful tops of you. See, I think there's a more interesting note in there. I'll put it on the 7th. Oops. Over the Garden Wall season 2 sounds amazing. See, you're trying to have it so the notes don't clash against each other. And then we're gonna double this up by we're gonna add this again. I don't get to play around with orchestral instruments very much, but I really do enjoy it when I get the chance to.
speed back down to normal then. Okay, let's go off. Let's go a little bit off piste here. Okay. Okay. I can do better. I can do better. I can do better. First bit, good. Second bit, less good. Yeah, I think I was closer. So now we get a lovely... Let's make sure that's popped in. Yep. What in the world? That's better. Yeah, like, I'm happy with how it's sounding, but I'm also very much just like, I'm not sure this is gonna fit the fit a short radio drama about, you know, driving. Okay, so kind of happy with how it's sounding, but we're gonna do something a bit fiddly with the export. In fact, you know, we're not gonna do it. We're gonna do this. What's the best way to do this? Yeah, let's just do different exports. Okay, so
It's kind of like driving slowly on an empty road on a sunny day in the countryside. Yeah, I think we can do something with this. So, I'm gonna select specifically. We're gonna get rid of this bit. So this is something I do a lot when it comes to like client work. In that, so say for example, you hired me to make you some music for your podcast, which you can do at tincanaudio.co.uk/contact. Music for all your audio needs. When I'm finished with the piece, what I'll do is I will do different exports. So it means you kind of get a few different versions of the soundtrack for whatever purpose you need it for. So rather than just sending you stems and being like, all right, here's the stems, it's like, no, here are some different mixes, here are some different ideas, here are some different versions of the track. So it means you have some options. It's a thing I really love doing. Right, master mix, entire project. Yeah, there we go. So want this full track. I want it 48. Yeah, minus 20. I don't think that's going to be a problem, but just in case. And then no tail on the end of it. There you go. Oh, time selection. That's what I want. Okay. So we're just going to let that do its thing. Oh, right, this is a bit louder than minus 24. All right, then. Okay. Good stuff. Oh! And then we're going to take out everything but the piano and the bass. And we're going to call it piano and bass. Render it again. And then we're going to do piano bass and piano bass sample. It's a way of making your music go a bit further. And then what else? What else do we need? Should we do one that's just the... Oops. Yeah, let's do that one. Sample and synth. Okay. And then finally... Whoops. Actually, no, not finally. There's one more after this. Orchestra. And then we'll do another version which I will just call unplugged version, which is just all the acoustic instruments. Acoustic in this case. So then rather than just having one piece of music, we now have a suite of... Oops. Everyone say hi to Kiryu. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tracks that we can use. That we can use for the documentary. So let's give that a go just now. Let's throw it back to the documentary. Okay, so for the first music in, because we can also do. So let's start with just the piano and the bass.
Manchester to go to drama school, and I was like, do you know what? I'm not going to drive in Manchester.
So I learned to drive.
Oh my god. Oh, right, okay. So I've put it on the wrong track, but it kind of works.
Do you know what? I'm not going to drive in Manchester.
So I learned to drive.
So we're going to give it a little bit more space.
Do you know what? I'm not going to drive in Manchester.
Kind of love it.
So I learned to drive when I was 17. Basically, on my 17th birthday, I opened the card from my parents, and so there's a red light coming up. It said, "Oh, your first driving lesson." So there's a red light.
Okay, we're going to...
So there's a red light coming up. It said, "Oh, your first driving." So there's a red light coming up. It said, "Oh, your first driving lesson is at midday." So a year and a half later, I passed my test and I got my license, got my full license. And then for the next 10 years after that, didn't have a car. Then when my partner, when we got married, one of the things was, right, you know, I'm gonna have to relearn how to drive, which is something I did last year. And yeah, it's been interesting. It's been an interesting thing to kind of try and learn how to do, and it just sort of really just happened that in the process of relearning how to drive, it just so happened that there were a bunch of people who were also learning how to drive, and I thought that was an interesting thing to talk about. Drive, and I thought that was an interesting thing to talk about.
I started a job that I'm thankfully still at now, where I needed to drive. I work for a telecommunications company, so I used to
Hello,
go out to
hello,
businesses and
welcome.
get
It's
their
good to
Wi-Fi,
see you.
basically. It was put down as a one of my probation goals.
We've been making some music. We made some music for this piece, and now we're just sticking it in, and it sounded pretty good so far.
With on the day, if you're just jumping in for a few days. I definitely know that I've not received a lot of job opportunities because of my lack of driving.
I need to sort that. And then there's the childish answer that I went to...
Yeah, okay, let's bring that back. Scoring the driving piece. You bet. Let's... Tobias. Yes, Tobias is in this piece, which is delightful. Because one of the things that made me kind of want to make this piece, which kind of made me think it was kind of interesting, was that, like, you know, I mentioned to Tobias that I was relearning how to drive, and then Tobias was talking about how they were learning how to drive and relearning how to drive as well. And then a similar thing was happening with B, and then a similar thing was also happening with my friend Serena. Like, I was at a Christmas party chatting to Serena, and Serena mentioned that they were also relearning how to drive, and I was kind of like, this is. I feel like it's at least in my experience, it was something like, you know, I feel like you don't really hear about people learning or relearning to drive later in life. Like, I remember I had a physics teacher who learned. I think in his late 30s. I remember him saying to me, it's just like, I think that thing that people don't appreciate is like how much scarier it is when you're older, when you're learning how to drive. And I thought that was kind of interesting. So that's kind of what made me want to make the piece. So let's...
And then there's the childish answer that I went to Disneyland Paris last year and went on Autopia and drove the go-karts and went, oh, driving's fun, isn't it? Those are two genuine thoughts. Those are the two. I went on those, like, proper old go-karts that are like the gas ones.
Yes.
Like the diesel go-karts that fucking reek. And then...
Actually, no, let's use the full track here. When you're older, you know already. Driving music, full track. let's throw it in here. See what it comes up as.
And then there's the childish answer that I went to Disneyland Paris last year and went on Autopia and drove the go-karts and went, oh, driving's fun, isn't it? Those are two genuine thoughts. Those are the two. I went on those, like, proper old go-karts that are like the gas ones.
Yes.
Like the diesel go-karts that fucking reek. And we were going around these bends. I was like, do you know what? I really enjoy this. I think I want to drive.
It was something that I had never really thought about, this idea of, you know, relearning how to drive, or the experience of learning how to drive as an adult, and kind of all the emotions and stories that come with that. Because I think for some people, you know, you don't learn because of circumstance or because of finances or fear or anxieties, anything like that. In my case, I just find driving really scary. I just feel like I'm in control of this huge machine. I don't really know. I feel like I don't have as much control of it as I possibly should, you know?
Regardless of how quick or expert you are at applying the brakes, you are completely dependent on the mechanical part of your car to stop.
If your eyes close for just a fraction of a second, you're in immediate danger. Keep your mind on your driving and not on other matters.
So I've been doing refresher lessons here in Glasgow, mostly to gain confidence again in driving.
Eyes closed for just a fraction of a second, you're in immediate danger. Keep your mind on your driving and not on other matters.
So I've been doing refresher lessons here in Glasgow, mostly to gain confidence again in driving, just because I never really drove after I passed my test, ever. So it's not fully relearning, it's more just like refreshing.
Stuff like that, but it's fine. I was like, oh, okay, great.
Once we have mastered the mechanics of driving let's see how an unsafe practice develops into a bad habit.
A lot of my anxiety is social anxiety. That is present within driving, where my social anxiety... I genuinely have had fears with driving where I'm like, if I get into a crash, I have to talk to this person. Oh, I'm so sorry we crashed into each other. I'm so sorry. I can't look you in the eye. I've just hit your car. I can't look at you.
I straight away said I was like mostly worried about my spatial awareness of being in the car. So like, you know, am I too close to the side?
Tobias is right. The biggest part is the embarrassment. You know what? Let's have a full listen. Let's have a full listen, and then I'll have a think about where we can put. Why is Tobias right though? It's wisdom, you see. Let's have a listen.
With the millions of cars crowding our highways today, where does safety start?
Ah, here's the drivers. That's my department. Where are they coming from? Who are they? Everybody's there. Everybody's driving cars these days. The butcher, the baker, the candlestick, even you and me.
Great strides have been made in the improvement of roads, highways, and motor vehicles. However, the human factor, which...
Now my car-related anger from today is back. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh no. I hope everything's okay.
Often the traffic is very heavy. Thousands of cars use the freeways every day. Any vehicle can make a sudden, dangerous move at any time. Look out! There's a car going on.
Right. Okay. One of the things I've been trying to get better at doing is driving by myself without an adult in the car, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to do that. Okay. There we go.
The little it costs to train our young people to be good drivers in the beginning is as nothing compared to what it saves in accidents and lives.
Cars, thousands of them. Every day, everywhere. Traffic problems are really acute. With the increasing number of cars, the need for courtesy on our streets and highways is also becoming increasingly apparent.
So I learned how to drive when I was 17. Very stereotypical, you know.
It's
like,
intermittent
get
fault. The guard
17,
can't
your
find the
parents go,
source
you need
of
to learn to drive.
to be found. And also, whoever
It's
put in a
forced
claim
upon
against
you.
me for an
Was that
accident?
something that
Oh
you
my
were very much
God.
like, this is something I want to do when I'm 17?
Not particularly.
Awful. I'm so sorry.
So I learned how to drive in Bulgaria in about 2018 or so. So I failed twice in Bulgaria already, and I believe that was around 2017 because you can do them or just before you're 18. And then obviously left for university, so kind of forgot about it a bit. And then I came home in 2018 during the summer, and my dad was again like, "You need to get this license. You need to get the license. You need to get it." Yeah, the classic pressure from the parents. And I obviously had my mom on the other side being like, if you don't want to drive, you don't have to drive.
It wasn't something that I wanted to do.
Casual reminder, you are an adult in the car. No, but I need an actual
I walked
adult.
to school, I walked to college. I wasn't expecting any sort of necessary driving to be in my upcoming future, so I was very much like, you know, I don't particularly care. But yeah, my parents just said, right, you're 17.
Sometimes you need an adultier adult.
The
Exactly.
lessons or whatever it is. Off you go.
From the second I was old enough, I was like, I want to drive, because where I grew up was the middle of nowhere, and there were no buses. Like, the nearest bus stop was a 10-minute drive from where we lived, and those buses were not frequent. So I was like, I want to drive. I need to be able to drive to have any form of freedom. So yeah, I did lessons. I think I had like 10 or 12 lessons, because I remember at the age of like 17 feeling like, I feel like a competent driver. I feel I had anxieties which are the same anxieties I have now about certain aspects of driving, like, you know, roundabouts being terrifying.
I did my driving lessons. I remember being scared of roundabouts, of going faster than 30 miles an hour, of, you know, merging onto multiple lane roads, all the sort of, you know, standard things that everyone would be, you know, relatively anxious about at the start.
The scary bits, yeah.
The scary bits, yeah.
But then I failed my theory 3 times by 1 mark every single time. And a few months after that, I was going to be moving to Manchester to go to drama school, and I was like, do you know what? I'm not going to drive in Manchester.
So I learned to drive when I was 17. Basically, on my 17th birthday, I opened the card from my parents, and so there's a red light coming up. It said, "Oh, your first driving lesson is." It said, "Oh, your first driving lesson is at my parents," and so there's a red light coming up. It said, so there's a red light coming up. It said, "Oh, your first driving lesson." So there's a red light coming up. It said, so there's a red light coming up.
Oh, so fiddly.
So there's a red light coming up. It said, "Oh, your first driving lesson is at midday."
Or proof that devices just die.
So
Yeah,
a
a
year
little
and a
bit.
half later, I passed my test, and I got my license, got my full license. And then for the next 10 years after that, didn't have a car. Then when my partner, when we got married, one of the things was, right, you know, I'm gonna have to relearn how to drive, which is something I did last year. And yeah, it's been interesting. It's been an interesting thing to kind of try and learn how to do, and it's been an interesting thing to kind of try and learn how to do.
Yeah, that's kind of what I need. I need to cut that down. That's the other thing. If there's anywhere where it's like this can get cut, that's kind of what we're looking for now.
Last year, it's been an interesting thing to kind of try and learn how to do, and it just kind of sort of really just happened that in the process of relearning how to drive, it just so happened that there were a bunch of people who were also learning how to drive, and
Music just stopping
I
so you
thought
can
that was an
interject as
interesting
chef's
thing to
kiss. I do love doing that.
I started a job that I'm thankfully still at now, where I needed to drive. I work for a telecommunications company, so I needed to go out to businesses and fit their Wi-Fi, basically. It was put down as a one of my probation goals was within 6 months to be comfortable driving the car.
Work is the main thing. Getting yourself to work in the film industry. You know, we have unit bases where we all meet up.
Driving the car.
Work is the main thing.
Comfortable driving the car.
Work is the main thing. Getting yourself to work in the film industry. You know, we have unit bases where we all meet up to start our day, and they're usually in really, really random locations in the middle of nowhere. And yeah, sometimes your call time is 5 a.m., sometimes it's like 10 p.m. So, you know, public transport is really unreliable in that sense. And then also, asking people for lifts is sometimes not the best route to go down, just because sometimes you don't even know who you're working with on the day if you're just jumping in for a few days. I definitely know that I've not received a lot of job opportunities because of my lack of driving. Luckily, I was fortunate enough that last year was busy enough for me to still be busy and employed for pretty much most of the year. But I just know that it would have been much more as well if I had a car and could confidently drive.
So there's two answers to this. One is the adult answer. A close friend of mine's mum passed away recently, and before that he was learning to drive. Started, I think, just before I'd started again. I was sort of like, oh, why are you suddenly... He'd never expressed any interest in driving, and he was sort of like, do you know what, having to get to them and needing to, at the drop of a hat, if something happens, I need to be able to drive, because for one, British transport is incredibly unreliable and expensive, and you just can't depend on it. So having that ability to be like, well, look, if I can drive and I have a car, I know that if something happens, I can go. Yes, the car might break down, but it's less likely for the car to break down than it is for a train to be cancelled. It was just that thing of getting older, then getting older and going, oh, fuck, okay, that's a reality at some point, and I need to sort that. And then there's the childish answer that I went to Disneyland Paris last year and went on Autopia and drove the go-karts and went, oh, driving's fun, isn't it? Those are two genuine thoughts. Those are the two. I went on those, like, proper old go-karts that are like the gas ones.
Yes.
Like the diesel go-karts that fucking reek. And we were going around these bends. I was like, do you know what? I really enjoy this. I think I want to drive.
It was something that I had never really thought about, this idea of, you know, it was something that I had never really thought about, this idea of, you know, relearning how to drive, or the experience of learning how to drive as an adult, and kind of all the emotions and stories that come with that. Because I think for some people, you know, you don't learn because of circumstance or because of finances or fear or anxieties, anything like that. In my case, I just find driving really scary. I just feel like I'm in control of this huge machine. I don't really know. I feel like I don't have as much control of it as I possibly should, you know?
Regardless of how quick or expert you are at applying the brakes, you are completely dependent on the mechanical part of your car to stop.
If your eyes close for just a fraction of a second, you're in immediate danger. Keep your mind on your driving and not on other matters.
So I've been doing refresher lessons here in Glasgow, mostly to gain... So I've been doing refresher lessons.
I think I may have made this long.
Mind on your
Driving is exhausting. Yes, it is. Oh my god, it is.
and not on other matters.
So I've been doing refresher lessons here in Glasgow, mostly to gain confidence again in driving, just because I never really drove after I passed my test, ever. So it's not fully relearning, it's more just like refreshing. But there are moments where I question whether, am I just relearning it entirely, because it's been like 7 years. from the 2 refresher lessons that I've had, it's felt more like, yeah, I just need to practice more rather than relearn.
So yeah, I got in contact with a local driving instructor who is absolutely fantastic. Shout out to Chris, he's great. He's helped all of our friends pass as well. It's kind of like we passed him around. He's just a really, really lovely guy.
Shout out
His
to Chris.
first words to me as we kind of got into the car was, you know, what's your history with driving? And I'm like, I'm not a very confident driver, I'm very anxious. We started driving, and then he was like, why aren't you driving? Like, you're fine, you're perfect, you're fine. Which was quite surprising to me, because I was screaming internally the entire way that we were driving. And there were only a couple of times where he was like, that was a bit of a mistake. So it was actually really, really nice to realise that I remembered how to drive. So yeah, I had 3 or 4 lessons with him, and then started driving the work car, which was great. I passed my probation.
I was worried that I would remember nothing and it would be starting from scratch again. And obviously, driving lessons aren't cheap. And the fear of being like, this is going to cost the world to try and drive. But yeah, we drove around for the first hour and he was like, oh, how long has it been since you drove? I was like, oh, probably like, what, I would have been 18 the last time I drove, so about 13 years. He was like, you don't need to learn any of the mechanics. We'll go through stuff, but just get a lesson booked as soon as you can. We'll go through road things and safety and stuff like that, but it's fine. And I was like, oh, okay, great.
Once we have mastered the mechanics of driving by conscious application, the subconscious takes over and performs these actions automatically. The longer we drive and habit patterns are developed, under ordinary driving conditions, we are continuously making split-second decisions. Many of these are routine and are adequately handled by our subconscious reflexes. Others require conscious reasoning, where factors must be checked before a change of operation can be made. When we consciously follow safe practices, they will soon become safe habits. Let's see how an unsafe practice develops into a bad habit.
A lot of my anxiety is social anxiety. That is...
Are you talking about my boy Kiryu Kazama, Sassy? Are you... You're talking about my boy. Talking about my man. Kiryu Kazama.
Practices, they will soon become safe habits. Let's see how an unsafe practice develops into a bad habit.
A lot of my anxiety is...
Ooh, what happens if I...
social anxiety. That is present within...
Nah, that's... I see it's Kazama time. I've got Majima on the other monitor, is it? Right, let's put this one in. Stop Kazama time. I'm replaying. I'm playing Yakuza Kiwami, which is the remake of the first one, and basically at any time Goro Majima can jump out at you and try and kill you. So, but it's funny because when it happens, you get this like ambulance siren above your head going, and then you just hear Kiryu-chan as this like eye patch wearing, snakeskin jacket runs towards you holding a baseball bat. Can happen anytime, anywhere in the game.
A bad habit.
A lot of my anxiety is social anxiety. That is present within driving, where...
A bad habit.
A lot of my anxiety is social anxiety. That is present within driving, where my social anxiety... I genuinely have had fears with driving where I'm like, if I get into a crash, I have to talk to this person. Oh, I'm so sorry we crashed into each other. I'm so sorry. I can't look you in the eye. I've just hit your car. I can't look at you.
I straight away said I was like mostly worried about my spatial awareness of being in the car. So like, you know, am I too close to the side of the road, or am I too close to the other lane? So I knew that that would be my kind of first battle. And we straight away noticed it, that I was either like steering too far away from the sidewalk because I was worried about being too close there, but then I was too close to the other lane. But the teacher was really good, and he's really quite like kind and patient, which is good, which to me is really important as well, because again, in Bulgaria it's not always the case. It just meant that like I was taking like responsibility for what I want to do, and it meant that I knew that this was going to help me with my career. I knew it would help me also in my personal life, just, you know, being able to get myself to places that I want to visit. But yes, relearning to drive definitely makes me feel like an adult. But given the terms in which I originally learned to drive, it also feels like it is my decision. So therefore, I think there's maybe less anxiety around it. And I think the fact that I also don't have to sit another exam is really comforting for me as well. So it's like it's on my own terms, which is really nice and freeing.
When I was relearning, my instructor was very much like, you're checking your mirrors too often. Because it's drilled into you when you learn to drive, check your mirrors, constantly check your mirrors. So I was like, cool, okay, I'm going to be checking my mirrors. And he's like, nothing's changed in 3 seconds. You've passed. We don't need to worry about getting you over the line because you're already there. We just need to worry now about getting you comfortable and confident in driving in the car. So when I redid my lessons, I didn't have the, you know, point things out to me on in the engine. What does the dipstick mean? All of this sort of stuff. I didn't have any of that. It was more just how to make driving easier rather than how to be a past driver or you know, how to pass your test.
I've got a left turn coming up, but I don't know where I'm going. So BRB.
I need the radio sound.
Regardless of how
Highways is also becoming increasingly apparent. Look out, there's a car pulling out.
And those buses were not frequent.
It's just a fun little combination of sounds.
You're already there. We just need to worry now about, you know, how to pass your test.
I've got a left turn coming up, but I don't know where I'm going. I've got a left turn coming up, but I don't know where I'm going. So
How to pass your test.
I've got a left turn coming up, but I don't know where I'm going. So BRB.
How to pass your test.
I've got a left turn coming up, but I don't know where I'm going. I've got a left turn coming up, but I don't know where I'm going. So BRB. I've got a left turn coming up, but I don't know where I'm going. So BRB. Ah, there's a learner as well. Great, fantastic. I'll just follow them. Oop. Fantastic. I'll just follow the learner. Excellent idea.
Christmas morning, we drove down to a nature reserve because this Christmas.
Ah, this is a good idea for the full track, actually. A very, very good place for the full track. This is a lovely little story. The indicator is such a fun little sound. Yes, just texture. It's lovely.
Christmas morning, we drove.
Ooh, hey now.
Christmas morning, we drove down to a nature reserve because this Christmas it was just the two of us in Cardiff. And every Christmas we try to take the dog out first thing and give him like an hour and a half wander, give him his Christmas food and let him sleep. And there is a wildlife reserve which you can't really get to through walking. You can, but it's like an hour and a quarter walk to get there, to then do that walk and walk an hour and a quarter back. Christmas morning, we went there and we drove, and I think this would have been like maybe 7:30, 8 in the morning, and the roads were dead, and it was a really, really beautiful experience of driving on completely dead roads to go to somewhere and just being like, oh, I got us here. I was able to get us here without a bus or a taxi or anything. Like, we got here and I drove us, and it took us 5 minutes rather than an hour and a quarter. And yeah, freedom and movement. I think things that I've always viewed as just like mundane but quite adult of like being able to do a shop with a car feels a lot more adult than walking to a Tesco's or something and getting a backpack full of food and bringing it back. I don't know why, but there's something about filling big bags and putting them into the car and going, we're adults. We've done a big shop. And I don't know, it just feels more adult. I don't know why. But then I think there's the other side of it that having driven before when I was younger and driving now sort of makes me feel like, oh, I'm a kid again, because the last time I drove was then. And it sort of takes me back to that age a little bit.
Yeah, I guess my main goal is confidence, realistically. Just knowing that I can get behind a wheel and drive and get myself from A to B safely and park safely. Yeah, just because even now the thought of like, I'm now more comfortable to drive to somewhere, but then I'm like, oh, will I be able to park? Will I need someone to help me park? mostly just, yeah, gain confidence. And then I guess with that comes like a bit of freedom and independence of being able to, you know, take myself on a little getaway to the mountains or a little hike on my own and stuff like that, which I haven't really been able to do too much because of how, you know, inaccessible these locations are with public transport. And I guess autonomy is the word, maybe? Being able to know that I can, you know, even if I don't own a car, I can just go out and hire one and I can comfortably do the tasks that involve driving.
I live in such a beautiful country that a lot of public transport doesn't take you to, you know. I want to be able to walk on the Brecon Beacons properly and go for an actual walk and go for a hike, you know, is really, really difficult if you have to rely on public transport, because it's a lot of stuff that you've got to carry around and it's got to all fit in a backpack. So having a car is hopefully going to make that a hell of a lot easier. There's also, you know, driving down to see family, you know, driving to see the in-laws means that, I mean, they're in their, you know, late 70s, early 80s. So it's very much a case of, you know, if we're able to do that's the hope, you know, being able to drive to them. And the same as being able to like hire a car and drive down to my parents, which is in Sussex. That's a 6-hour drive. But that again is an absolute, like, a want for me to be able to drive to see my parents rather than having to rely on them. It's less of the reliance on public transport inside of Cardiff, but definitely the ease of not having to rely on it outside of it, and not having to rely on other people.
Yeah, I am surprised that I actually...
Okay, so I'm going to try something.
Again, is an absolute, like, a want for me to be able to drive to see my parents rather than having to rely on them. It's less of the reliance on public transport inside of Cardiff, but definitely the ease of not having to rely on it outside of it, and not having to rely on other people.
I am surprised that I actually enjoy driving.
Oh, God!
Yeah, I am surprised that I actually enjoy driving.
Rely on it outside of it, and not having to rely on other people. Having to rely on other people.
Yeah, I am surprised that I actually enjoy driving. I think that's been one of the big things for me, is having that realization. And I do feel more grown up as a result. I didn't think I would. I thought I was at the stage where I was kind of comfortable in being an adult and that I was a grown up and I was responsible. And then I started driving, and then I realized that there was still a feeling of being an adult that I hadn't really grappled with. And it was really, really lovely to have that feeling. I think something that I find quite difficult is doing things when I'm scared. and this is a big scary thing, and I'm very happy that I was able to face that fear and do something with it. I'm trying to think of a conclusion, but I'm also on a really busy road, so I guess this is our
That doesn't work.
thing with it. I'm trying to think of a conclusion, but I'm also on a really busy road, so I guess this is our conclusion for tonight. Is that driving is scary, but you should do it anyway. Unless you don't want to, which is also totally fine.
I definitely found when I was driving on the motorway, there was a moment where...
So I want to put some music under this last bit as well, and then that'll be us. That'll be finished.
This is our conclusion for tonight. Is that driving is scary, but you should do it anyway. Unless you don't want to, which is also totally fine.
I definitely found when I was driving on the motorway, there was a moment where there was kind of like this moment for me driving back from Bristol where I'd been listening to the radio and I was driving and I felt confident and I felt comfortable and I was having, you know, as good a time as you can when driving. And then my brain just switched back on and went, you are in control of a very heavy metal machine that is driving at 70 miles an hour on a road with many other metal machines, and I felt how heavy my foot was on the pedal and I could feel how heavy my hands were on the wheel and all of this, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, which isn't a very nice realization to have when you are driving at 70 miles an hour down the motorway.
Amber, did you put your music in waltz time? I did!
I was like, well,
I did!
3-4. Like, I do know what I'm doing because I'm doing it, you know, and that initial feeling is now where I'm back at with everything, and there's the hopes that I will be able to maneuver past that because I do know how to drive. I am a confident driver. You know, I've had multiple other people tell me that, you know, my driving is fine, which is great to hear. So it would be really, really nice if my brain would listen to that. So yeah, there is hope as soon as Tobias has passed, because it's very much a case of like, I want to be able to have that fallback, that if something goes wrong, he can take over and he feels comfortable to take over. But that's it, really. Yeah, driving is actually fun when you get round to it. When you get round to it.
Alright, here's something just for you guys. I am not very good at parking. Ooh! 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 Except for tonight! Holy crap, just did that in the water! Oh my god, that was like a perfect park! Oh yes! Marvelous! Oh! Oh, day made! Day made! Yes! Oh!
A picture didn't happen. It was dark. I wasn't going to take a picture. I was too happy. Look, I don't need to prove anything to you people. Okay, yeah, I think that's done. I think that's done. I think if like, I do think I would have liked another week to work on this. I would have liked an extra week to kind of put a bit more, like, I think I could have maybe done a bit more with the sound design aspect of it. It does feel a bit flat when it comes to the sound design of this particular piece, but I'm happy with how it's sounding. Like I think, are you not working on it next week too? No. So next week, Monday is ADDQ. So ADDQ is now happening at the end of the month rather than the beginning. So ADDQ is happening, and then on Wednesday, I'm going to be taking all of the submissions for the opening stinger for this project. I'm going to be putting that together. I'm going to be figuring out how to make that. So I'm going to be spending 2 hours putting together this like very intricate little musical sound stinger thing. I'm going to be doing that on Wednesday. So so this is the kind of last stream I'll be working on it, which is kind of fun. It's also the last amount of time I'm going to have to work on it as well, because I'm away. Got a full day of work tomorrow, and then I'm down in Newcastle on Friday, and then I'm in Newcastle for a work thing, and then I'm heading straight back up again afterwards. And then it's the weekend, and then Monday I'm back to work, working on this is history and a couple of other fun projects. Newcastle on Friday or a work thing. Yeah, and like frustrate like I'm having to go down tomorrow night because the thing's at like 9 a.m. But basically just due to work commitments, I can't hang around afterwards. I need to head straight back up again. I would have really liked to have hung around, but unfortunately, I've got What the Trans to edit this weekend, and also like just Sarah and I have not seen each other very much this month due to work and me working and Sarah filming. So this is the third week out of fourth for filming, and yeah, just like we kind of I'm making more of an effort to kind of be have time together. But anyway, so that's our show. That's our stream. Yeah, I'll be back on Monday. Hug your wife. Oh, I will. Our boiler isn't working. It's all we have for heat right now. We'll be back on Monday. Yeah, hug all your wives. Yeah, everybody go cuddle. On Monday, we'll be doing ADDQ. We're doing ADDQ. We now have a website for ADDQ, so we'll be talking about how to. If you want to do your own ADDQ, we're going to talk about how you can do that, how you can join in with the chaos. And then on Wednesday, I'll be editing together a little stinger. If you would like to be in the little opening musical stinger, I'll put a link in the chat. Using command tiny. Record yourself saying the word tiny as many times or as few times as you like, and as many voices as you like. And I'm going to be putting them all together in a little collage, maybe like a sort of 5-second collage, to kind of, if you for those of you who've listened to Anamnesis, kind of like the opening to that a little bit. And then whenever it says Anamnesis, the way that little collage bit works, saying it 0.3 times. I mean, good luck. If you do, it'll go in. We've got it in Welsh as well, which is really cool. So if you want to throw in different languages, please do. If you record the word tiny and then slow it down to 0.3 speed, I will also. This is the thing. Anything you send, any recording of you saying the word tiny, I will put in. I'll be doing that next week. I've not listened to a lot of uploads, so this is gonna be an interesting time. But yes, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your week. I hope it is warm. I hope it has access to heating. Touch everything tiny for Camlin. Yes, we like. We'll actually have some more Camlin news very soon. We've got a couple of bonus things we're going to be releasing over the next wee while. But it's not warm, but there is access to heating. Okay, good. I'm glad there is access to heating. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all next week.